Tough crowd.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm trying to find this one guy.
Suck my cock.
Oh, okay. Famous quote from Dr. Sleep. Yo, Prieston or whatever your name is, go on the stage. Go. Yeah, okay, there you go. Tell us a joke.
It's called Preston, I think.
Tell us a joke, man.
Tell us a good joke.
My balls are really small.
I got a joke for you. It was one of my favorites. So one day, the black Jewish boy comes home to his dad and says, "Hey Dad, am I more black or am I more Jewish?" The dad says, "Why?" Gay on. And he says, gay. Well, again, he says, "Why do you ask?" The reason why is because the son says, "Well, I want to buy this bike for $50, but I don't know if I should hack him down for 30 or just steal the bike."
Damn.
Thank you, I'll be here all night.
Yeah.
Holy fuck, I actually laughed. Imagine that.
Detective! Shut up! Tell us a joke! I have to fly my way there! This motherfucker's gay! Yeah! My voice is terrible now. Holy shit, my voice. Hold on, hold on, I need to do something.
Is he throwing up?
There we go. Now I'm good.
Shut the up.
Now I can talk. Now I'm good. So since I f***ed up my voice, I now have to use a f***ing synthesizer. I'm fine. So how are all of you doing? I agree. I couldn't agree anymore with any of you. Yo, man, you're f***ing gay. There we go. Dude, you're not f***ing Michael Myers. Shut the f*** up. You're f***ing gay. And you're a f***ing idiot. And you're a f***ing monkey. 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 Yes, monkey.
He's a monkey.
Okay, next person on stage is some f***ing idiot.
Holy shit. Wait, is this? Wait.
Yes, you're on stage! We can hear you! Bitch, get a new microphone. Okay, cool. Okay, who wants to be the admin of this f***ing server? Who? Room, whatever. Who wants to be admin?
Me.
I don't trust you. Who else? Who wants to be admin?
Me.
Who?
Me.
You?
Me.
Yeah. Yeah, who wants to be admin? Who the f*** wants to be admin? I don't trust you,
he's black.
I will trust the monkey. And I won't. I'll trust you. No, I won't. Bye. You can be the admin. There you go. So, bye everyone.
Thank you.
God damn it, I made a mistake. God
Rat. I have not. No, I'm not familiar with that.
There he is, guys. We found him.
Yeah, so real quick, if I could just finish the Bible verse thing.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, so you never read a Bible verse singular. You always want to read the verse in context. So he mentioned Romans 5:13, which is a single verse. I'm just going to read the verse before it and the verse directly after it. So it's verses 12, 13, and 14, and that might give us some context. So this is what it says. Just as sin came into the world through one man, and death through sin, and so death spread to all men because all sinned. For sin indeed was in the world before the law was given, but sin is not counted where there is no law. Yet death reigned from Adam to Moses, even over those whose sinning was not like the transgression of Adam, who was a type of the one who was to come.
In the fuck did I just walk into?
This is a Christian room, Mr. Psycho. If it's not your cup of tea, feel free to leave. But if you wanna listen, if you wanna hang out, then that's fine. Just make sure to follow the rules.
Oh, okay. Well, never
Yeah.
mind then. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah. See you later. So that was making sure to read it in context. And that verse is talking about how sin entered into the world through Adam. Adam chose to sin. And so Adam was a representative of the entire human race when he sinned. So if we were in Adam's position, it's very likely that we would have done the exact same thing. So even though we weren't the ones who committed the sin, Adam was the representative of every human being to come after him.
So I deserve
So
to
people-
suffer because of him?
So that's an excellent point, Doctor. People always say, oh, well, that's not fair. And I, as a Christian, might even be tempted to agree. And I think, well, maybe that isn't fair. But what comes after that is absolutely astounding. It goes on to say, but the free gift is not like the trespass. For if many died through one man's trespass, much more have the grace of God and the free gift by the grace of that one man, Jesus Christ, abounded for many. And the free gift is not like the result of that one man's sin. For the judgment following one's trespass brought condemnation, but the free gift following many trespasses brought justification instead of condemnation. For if because of one man's trespass, death reigned through that one man, much more will those who receive the abundance of grace and the free gift of righteousness reign in life through the one man, Jesus Christ. So where Adam failed the first time, Christ succeeded and died for the sins of the world. So all that to say, Doctor, that raises an excellent point. Here's the thing. Adam sinned, and so it spread to all of us. Christ died for our sins, and so his righteousness is imputed to all who believe in him. So through one man...
historical forensic evidence that Jesus Christ ever even existed.
George,
Can you
I would
explain
encourage... Yeah, absolutely. I could actually grab, where do I have it? Sean McDowell. Here he is. Sean McDowell, Evidence That Demands a Verdict. He wrote 2 volumes. He says it's historical evidences for the Christian faith. He was actually an atheist who set out to disprove Christianity. And over the course of his life of trying to disprove it, he actually found it to be historically accurate. And he wrote some books. The first one is the volume, Evidence That Demands a Verdict. And he says it's an unparalleled defense of Christianity. So if you haven't looked at that, George, I would encourage you to look at that before jumping to the conclusion that Jesus... if you could Google Josh McDowell.
Public access.
I don't know if it's public access. My dad happens to own a paperback, so I imagine he had to buy it. I don't know what it would cost. You might be able to find a free version online, but if not, I imagine you would need to purchase either a PDF or a paperback.
So why do you think you're... Like, I'm not even trying to be critical, but why do you think, like, you have the right religion? Out of all of the religions in the world, why do you think yours is the one that's true?
Great question. Yeah, let me write.
Don't you find it convenient that you were born in... I'm guessing your family's Christian, like your father's Christian?
You should lower the piano, dude.
Is it still too loud? I thought I fixed that.
Yeah, just lower it down a little bit, it'll be fine.
Okay, how's
That-
that? I tried it.
Four.
That's good.
that?
I think that's good.
Is it better?
Louder.
Yeah.
It's fine.
If you press tab, you can change the audio settings, so...
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, you might have an imbalance of the crowd volume, maybe.
Narrator,
Yeah.
have you ever sinned?
Have I sinned? Absolutely. I'd be the first person to admit that.
Are you
People.
Catholic, or are you...
Peop-
Like, what branch of Christianity do you follow?
So I would just define myself as a follower of Christ. Specifically, I could say that I was raised in a Reformed Presbyterian church. that would color some of my theology, but ultimately I say that I follow. So your question was basically, why is Christianity true if there are so many other religions out there?
Religion is the right
Or
one.
right, how do you know that it's true, I think is your question.
Yeah, how do you know that you have the right one?
How do you know?
Like, why not
Right.
Islam? Why not Judaism? Why not Buddhism? Why not?
Yep.
Why not
chime in here?
religion?
Yeah, Broccoli,
Those
if you
are
want to chime in.
Abrahamic religions. Okay, so Judaism is like pretty much the Old Testament, but they think that just like just how the Christian faith believes it is like the people who were persecuting Christ that put Christ on the cross was the Jewish people, the high priests of Israel, and so they have his name as Joshua in the Old Testament in the Torah, and the Quran, which is another Abrahamic religion. It's like the timeline is messed up. They have another prophet called Muhammad.
That's 3 religions. There's so many other. Why not paganism, right?
You're right. Okay, so
Christianity's the right one.
these are the
How
Abrahamic.
convenient is it that you were born into a family that believed in the right religion? I bet if you were born into an Islamic family, you'd be up here saying that Islam is
Oh,
the
dude, it's so.
and Muhammad.
No, it's.
Here, Broccoli, I can actually handle that one. George, have you heard of Ravi Zacharias and Nabil Qureshi and David Wood?
I have not.
Those are 3 individuals that I think you would find absolutely fascinating, the backgrounds that they came from. Ravi came from a Hindu background, Nabil came from an Islamic background, and David came from an atheistic background.
Percentage of people who ended up finding Christianity when they're born into another religion. So how convenient is it that you just happen to be born into the right religion?
Ephesians 1 will tell you that there's a predestined ordinance that God chooses people. His elect, He chooses people to come out, to be born out of stone. That this is like Abraham.
God chooses what? You've lost.
Our hearts are so jaded. It's like a rock. It's like a stone, and God can circumcise our hearts and open it up again to feel, to be empathetic, to have a heart, to be a good neighbor.
So just humor me, George, real quick. I just want to share this and just get your thoughts on it. This comes from Matthew, and chapter 7, and the verse 13, it talks about this idea of a gate, and it says, "Enter by the narrow gate, for the gate is wide, and the way is easy that leads to destruction."
Bottom line
Because
about
it
Christianity
adds
is that
on.
you believe in Jesus Christ.
Anyone who adds on
Right?
to the
And Mormons
to the
believe in
Bible
Jesus
will be
Christ.
added on plagues onto their lives.
So George, they will say that they believe in Christ.
Between a cult and a religion.
Oh, that's an excellent question. A cult
That
is
sounds like a really loaded question, and I still haven't asked my question, which is
yeah. We've kind of gone all over the place actually. So I want to try and bring it back to a single question.
say I killed someone and confessed it to a priest, would I still go to heaven?
Depends what branch of Christianity you believe in. If you're a Baptist, as long as you're
I would.
baptized.
So George. So this is where Christianity. You could confess your sin to every single human being on this planet, priest or otherwise, and still not be right with God. That's ultimately what matters.
The reason why us as humans are so inclined to believe in gods and deities is because we want there to be something after our death. Because that's our greatest fear at the end of the day.
Well, George, let me let me just ask you.
You're all just coping very hard. Like you're coping with the fact
That
be lights out for you and it'll be blackness. The show will be over. And what you're doing is coping with this terrible feeling of dread by saying, "Oh, there's something beyond that. There's God. There's heaven."
Yeah, George, let me just ask you a question. Do you know what happens when we die? George.
Yeah,
Talking
but
to George.
You line
That's
up
my
in
biggest
line.
fear. No one knows what happens after we die.
George. Hold on, guys. I'm asking George. Can you tell me specifically
Your brain
what
stops
happens when
firing
we die?
neurons, you lose consciousness, and then it's just blank. Like,
Yeah, but where do you go?
You go nowhere. All
You line up.
all you are
then you-
chemical
Yeah, but then what
reactions.
happens after that?
Eternal peace. It's just eternal peace.
We want to think that because it's an awesome.
What if it's true, George? Can you deal with the possibility that it might be true? Are you willing to entertain that, or would you say that you're more closed-minded in that even if that were an option, you still wouldn't accept it, even if I gave you an example and some reasons?
You know what? I can entertain the idea that there might be the soul or there might be an afterlife, but how do I know that it's yours? Why is it this Jesus Christ afterlife?
Your soul is
Why
precious,
not
man.
another
You're asking a lot of the right questions, honestly. Like, these are questions that people have to ask Christians because they matter. Like, everything you're asking
This
me...
process of thought of soul and afterlife is an excellent selective advantage for humans in biology that helped us survive by giving us hope of something after the inevitable doom of death that we all eventually face.
So just to entertain that thought, why would you suggest removing that hope?
Pardon me?
So if like you said, it is a coping mechanism that gave us hope, and that therefore gave us sort of an advantage, I guess, in survivability, you could say, why would we want to remove that advantage if it's helped us come so far?
We wouldn't. We can't end that way of thought. But thinking about it logically, it just makes no sense that it would be a Jesus Christ, God, heaven, afterlife. It could be.
Yeah.
It could be. But there's no evidence for it to be that way. Why don't you also believe in the possibility of, like, an Islamic
The
heaven?
flying spaghetti monster.
Or the flying spaghetti monster, exactly.
Could I ask my
My
question?
thing is broken, sir. I'll be back.
Okay, sorry, Bailey. While Bailey's fixing that, let's take Snowman's question while she's fixing that.
My question is, can I come in your mouth?
I have a question too. Is it a sin to drink a soda in a Christian session? Is that a sin?
In a Christian what?
Session, like this one, I guess.
Drink a soda.
Yeah.
I guess I don't understand the question. Like, I don't know what would be wrong with it.
I don't know, it just seems kind of rude to me.
Honestly, I wouldn't question that, because if it's a sin to have sex before marriage, then I wouldn't.
Think about your heart's intentions. You know innately in your heart, when you're making decisions, you know if it's good or bad. If you have to ask yourself, I shouldn't do this, or I think this is gonna do bad.
Who invented marriage?
Marriage is a thing from God.
No, man created marriage. That's a lie. Man created marriage.
Well, again, how do you know that, George?
God ordains the marriage, brings two people, two fires become one. Two people become one in unison together.
Then explain
That's the divorce.
Divorce
is a man-made thing.
Okay, this is free choice. This is free will.
Ceremony to live together and create a family and be socially acceptable.
Hey, y'all.
That's all it is.
Okay, let me ask you a question, George. Are you married?
He left.
Hello?
George.
No, not currently married.
Have you experienced anything related to marriage?
What do you mean like a relationship?
Like, just, like, anything. Like, parents, friends,
Yes.
how
Like, what's your experience been?
Well, when I was 1 through 15, my parents seemed to love each other and were one, but then they got divorced. So can you explain that? Like, if God gave us marriage, why the fuck are my parents still together?
What the hell is happening?
So do you think that a human being who doesn't know the mind of God could answer your question as to why God allowed that to happen? So me, a single unmarried person, would give advice about divorce. I don't feel as qualified to talk about it. I haven't experienced it. I couldn't empathize with you, George. So if Christianity is true, and so would you like me to give a Christian answer? I could give you a Christian answer, but it doesn't seem like that's what you're after.
What? Give the truth.
He doesn't want it.
No, you don't. What? And so you rather lie? Liars do not enter the kingdom of heaven. Do you know that?
I could tell him the truth, but
Why would you have to censor
heaven is
yourself for this?
paradoxical. The whole idea of heaven is paradoxical.
How will you save this man's soul? How would you plant your seed in George?
If heaven is infinite, we can agree with that, right? It's eternal. If something is forever, then by definition, everything that can happen will happen, which includes suffering and everything terrible that could happen.
Heaven is
season 349 was pretty good.
I feel like again we're jumping around from a lot of topics, and I feel like I can never settle on one particular topic. You mentioned divorce, you mentioned heaven, we talked about what it means to be a good person, so I just need to know what it is we're talking about, because I feel like we've just kind of been all over the place, and I want to try and settle on something concrete.
I'm sorry, I gotta go. I might be back later though. Thanks. I enjoyed this discussion. It was good.
Yeah, thanks for being here.
This is a really good discussion.
How do you define a good person?
I can tell you how a Christian defines a good person.
How about no?
I don't think that's microevolution. I think that's macroevolution. So it's not little changes, it's big changes. That's macroevolution, and that's what I disagree with. I don't disagree with the little changes or with change with regards to time. I disagree with one species becoming another species. I disagree with single-celled organisms developing into fully functioning, irreducibly complex human beings. That's what I wanted to say.
Fuck you. Realize
okay, great.
Increments over time is how we became humans, right?
Okay, I'm gonna make a new room real quick.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I wanted to kick him out, but I hit the admin button. So
all right, let's go.
room. If he doesn't want to give back the admin, then I'll just make a new room.
Yeah, we'll go. Let's shut up. Sure. By the way, I made a video that you were in.
Oh yeah. Someone told me about that. I was actually gonna watch that after I get off of 5 time.
So it's
all right.
Bullshit.
I also sent you a friend request because why not?
Oh, cool.
Yeah.